This video introduces the 7 use cases developed to describe the Unity event review process. The use cases are: in the exploratory phase, a requested idea from outsider for event or project, an internal Unisync idea, proposed event or project. Phase 2, the candidate phase. Outside book and event requests, and that's the workflow we're going to look at today. Unisync event or project. And finally, in the third stage, the approved event or project phase, there can be a simple meeting or event, a simple project, or a large project. First, we'll look at today the outside book and event requests use case. And that use case itself has 3 parts. A follow-up tutorial will show the workflow for the other use cases. The 3 parts to the outside book and event request use case are book and event forms loaded into the event import table within Airtable. We'll look at that today. For selected events, the associated records in the Unisync review table are created. As needed, event details are updated. For example, the category type might be changed from events and classes to meeting. The third part of the use case is add calendar Unisync meeting to decide outcomes. For the first part of the book and event forms loaded into the event import table, the tools we're going to be looking at are the website, we need to edit access, either Excel or Numbers, and Airtable, our database app. The role that will be played is Airtable Editor. Prerequisites: since the last processing cycle, additional book and event forms have been submitted on the website. Outcomes: new book and event forms are loaded into the event import table within Airtable. The second part of the use case is records in the Unisync review table are created, and the tools needed are Airtable and Slack. The role played will be the Airtable editor and Airtable read-only. Prerequisites are new events from book and event form are loaded into the event import table within Airtable. The outcomes are for selected events in the import table, event import table. Associated records are created in the Unisync event review table. For each new record in the Unisync event review table, a reference message is automatically created in Slack, the Unisync message app. Discussions of events are conducted in Slack in the event review channel. As needed, any particular event import fields are updated, for example, the event category field. All associated Unisync event review fields are completed at the end of part 2. For example, the Unisync review date, Unisync lead person, and so on. The third part of this use case is add to calendar. The tools are Airtable and Slack. The roles, one role, Airtable read-only. Prerequisites, everything in the Unisync event review records are reviewed and complete, usually happening during the Unisync meeting. Results, Tony Rogers may now use the admin view in the Unisync event review table to manage the unityoffairfax.org calendar. Discussions of events are still conducted in Slack in the event review channel. Okay, that completes the introduction here. Now we're going to go through each of the steps that were described for part 1. First, we need to sign on to the website and go to the book and event page. As you see, I am there. We're going to click on the results tab. When we do that, we make a note of the highest serial number, which is 177, in the results of the book and event form. 177. All right. The next step is we're going to open Airtable. Here I am on a website where I've opened Airtable. The workspace is Unity IT, and the database is book and event. I'm now going to open the Unisync database, which I've called book and event. Here's the book and event database. As you see, it has tables in it. The event import table and the Unisync event review table, which I referred to earlier. We're going to ignore the other tables, projects, miscellaneous tasks, Buddhist monks tasks, volunteer staff, and templates. They'll be used in future applications. For now, we're going to focus on these two tables, import, event import, and Unisync event review. Focusing on the import, event import, event master is a view. And notice the serial numbers in this view, 154, 155, so on, 162, 163, 152. You can see that the book and event forms loaded into Airtable were not loaded in consecutively. And we want a look at the consecutive numbers for book and event forms loaded in. So if I click on Event Master here, we'll see that that's just a view. And I can click on another view called Sorted by Serial. And now we see the serial numbers sorted, 152 through 163. Now we note that 163 is the highest book and event form loaded into Airtable. And before, on the book and event forms table, we saw we were up to 179. So now we want to return to the book and event form table and download everything from 164 up through 179 to get all the new book and event forms into our table. So here we are again. And notice 177, and there's 165. So going back, 163, we want to load up 164 through 177. So we'll do that in the download. All right. So now we're going to download what we want. We're going to check delimited text, not Microsoft Excel. We don't want tabs. We want commas. See the commas there? And the column header format, we'll leave that as label. Now we need to open the Select List options. We're going to select Compact. Now we need to select which parts of the book and event form we're going to download. We don't want to download everything. We want to uncheck those particular fields that are not of interest to us. So I'm going to uncheck SID, and then we're going to uncheck completed time down through username. Uncheck all of those. We don't want them. And finally, underneath that, we're going to uncheck approval notice and meeting text. And last of all, at the bottom, we're going to uncheck green policy. So now we've selected just the fields we want to import into Airtable. Now we're going to pick the range we want to import. So going back into Airtable again, we see 163 is the highest value we have. So we want to download 164. And we want to go up to 179. Notice that in the book and event form download, it tells us we last downloaded 163. A little helper to know that we want 164 through 179. Now I click on the download button. And everything has been downloaded. Okay, let's go see where the downloads are. So if we look here in my downloads folder, notice that I have the file bookandevent.csv. There it is. If I double click on it, if you're on a PC, this will open up into Excel. If you're on a Mac, it will open up into Numbers. Either one is fine. The next thing we want to do is select all these rows for importation into Airtable. We don't want the first two rows. Rather, we want to start with this row, row 4. Now I'm going to go down the last row here and hold the Shift key down as I click on one. Is that the last one? Yeah. Click on 177. Okay, I held the Shift key down. Did I get them all selected? Let's see here. There's the first one. Shift key, get that one. Let's go on down here and click the... Okay, now I got them all selected. Now I'm going to do, on a PC, I would do Control-C on a Mac, Command-C, and that will copy all of these rows. Here I go, Command-C. Okay, copy them. All right, now I'm going to go back into Airtable. And now I want to enter all these rows into Airtable. So let me go up. Here's the import event table. The view I'm looking at is sorted by serial. I need to go back to the view event master. This is the view that's designed for importing. So if I click once here, notice the plus sign there. Watch what happens when I click here. It gives me a field for making a data entry. Notice that the plus sign is now underneath. So in Airtable, there's already a new record created here, but it's all blank. If I now use Command V or Control V, whether I'm on a PC or Mac, just did that, it asks me the table. To fit everything, we need to add 13 more records. Do we want to expand the table so that all the pasted cells will fit? Absolutely, we want to paste all those 13 new records in. I hit continue. There they are. Now we've loaded up all of the records from the book and event table into Airtable. Let's scroll over here to the right in Airtable. Make sure we got everything in OK. So here we go, all the way to the right. Notice the accept green policy is a yes here, and notice in all the new fields it's also a yes. So there's no misalignment of fields. We didn't import too many or too few fields. We imported exactly the right number of fields to fit into Airtable. This concludes the first tutorial on how to import book and event forms into Airtable. Thank you.